right, so we've all kind of gotten to know each other. How is everybody today?
How are you doing, guys?
Happy Leap Day!
Good, happy Leap Day. Happy extra 6 hours today, right? I'm Joe Anderson, and you all know us. Just a quick history of each other. But before we get started, this is a very informal presentation. If you have questions, concerns, statements all throughout the presentation, interject. Don't wait till the end because you might forget it and it probably is very important. So please, just anytime you want to make a comment or ask a question, interject. Okay, so myself, Joe, I come from an education background. And I had the directions towards teaching, but now I'm kind of going a little bit outside of it. And that's about it for my history.
Yeah, and my background is very different. I come from graphic communication, so I work primarily with technology and creating graphics for people, websites, those types of things. And a few years back, I started tutoring high school kids, and I really kind of fell in love with it. I really like working with kids and training and teaching. So I decided to go into this type of program where I create training and using technology.
And I'm Ann Vasileno. I'm the Coast Guard person here, 11 years now. And my background is more military side, but I will be going into fields that I'll be teaching adults, mostly with Coast Guard, and then hopefully after that, children. What we're going to go through today is pretty much explain why we came here. The Fleet Center contacted us and asked us, came to us and said, you know, we have these Smartboards, and we want to find ways to get our instructors to use it a bit more in the classroom. So we said, okay, we're going to come over and figure out how we can solve this problem. Right? And what we did was we conducted a survey, which everyone took, so thank you very much for that. And then we conducted some group interviews. I know not everyone was able to sit in on that. But with those two things, we were able to collect the information that could tell us what would be best for you guys to use to help you to use that Smartboard. And what we came up with was to develop a training site. In this training site, we use Google Sites. It's kind of a new thing that I learned. That it allows anyone who has the authority to change it to customize it to what you need. And what we did was to develop the platform for it. And then for you guys, when you are learning to use the Smartboards, you can grow with it. So whoever's in charge of the Google site will be able to add to it, take away, do what you need to do to help each other learn the Smartboard. And that's why we went with that. What we're going to talk about now is go through each of the tabs. On the welcome page, it's just saying hi, welcome, here's your training site. One of the things that caught our eye when we were looking at how are we going to reach out to these instructors and show that this is an important thing to learn. And we came across the Fleet Center's mission statement. And do you guys know what the mission statement is? It's up on the board.
Yeah.
It says, the Fleet Center seeks to inspire lifelong learning by furthering the public understanding and enjoyment of science and technology. And from what we've seen with some of the classes we sat in, you guys have the science thing down. I've learned a lot of things about electricity and what was that fuzzy stuff that Maggie did, the stuff that you could flubber. Yeah, I didn't know you did that. And you guys have that down. And what we're trying to capture today is how do we incorporate technology into that. And I would like to recommend that that mission statement for you guys changes from science and technology to science with technology. How do you teach science with technology? Smartboards are a new thing coming out there, and they're popping up in a lot of the schools, and a lot of the students that are coming in now are seeing these things in their own schools. And what better way for the Science Center, who is leading the way within science instruction, to be also leading the way in technology, using technology. Okay? All right, we're going to turn it to Anderson. You can
So I'm going to go ahead and go to the next tab. I'm just going to use the Smartboard throughout the presentation very lightly. Yeah. You all, I think, probably know that it is a touch screen, and it kind of works like an iPad. Your computer image is sent up here, and you can touch it to everything. So the first tab on here is something we saw a great need for when we were getting started. Some of you weren't sure how to set it up, so we created a job aid. They're being passed around now.
These are nice.
Yeah, we'd like to hang them up alongside on the wall here. So when you come in and you're rushed and you're trying to set up, you can kind of follow this checklist to see how it should be set up properly. And For troubles that you encounter beyond that basic setup, we also have set up an FAQ section that is for troubleshooting and little glitches that don't happen every time but happen on occasion. So yeah, you can navigate to this tab to see it online if you want to check it at home, or if say the poster is missing. And then I guess the next section that I'd like to talk about is Training 101. And this is kind of the bulk of our training at the beginning for getting started with the Smartboard. The way this page is set up is such that we have kind of a table of contents. So you can quickly jump to a topic that interests you. Or if you scroll down using the side navigation, there's a very brief introduction, and then we have embedded Smartboard videos with me as your guide. So these basically, the title is pretty clear what each video is about. Just basically explaining the Smartboard, like the toolbar that you see over here, and then we go into a little more depth with using the pens on the board, and then we go in further actually interacting with different programs on the board, and for instance a web browser, or you can pull in Word or PowerPoint, and then use your tools over it. And then the notebook program, the program that we use to create lessons. So kind of like we had a fun idea that it might be fun to show you how we'd like to interact. We'd like you to interact with these types of videos. And what that means is we've set it up in such a way that each of you will have an hour of paid time to go through this site on your own with the Smartboard. So we're going to set it up so you can come in and you have your hour to yourself to run through the Smartboard, watch these videos, and pause them as you get passed up if it's going too fast, and you can go back and repeat. And what that allows is learners of all different levels can kind of take their pace, go through the videos at their pace, and learn. So how we'd like to do this today is I'd like to ask for a volunteer to come up and kind of run through it. Basically, we'll play a video on the side, and then we'll just have you interacting with the notebook software on this side, trying to mimic what you're seeing on the video here. You can pause the video at any time. I'm going to stand up here with you if you have questions or if something doesn't make sense. So, any volunteers?
Has anyone never tried it before?
I'll do it.
Yeah?
Okay.
All right.
And
All right, you can get
just-
the next photo.
And she's wearing
just to add on to what Anderson was talking about, the beginning training videos, there's only 6 of them, and the total time is 12 minutes. So we're not talking about hours and hours of video to watch through. It's 12 minutes, and it will just get you up and running to the basics of the Smartboard.
Yeah, oh, it kind of was. That's like your pane that you can drag out and change the size of it. So what I recommend is you would pull up the website, the training website on this side, and then have your notebook software window on this side. Kind of do them alongside. And then we'll just go ahead and hit play on the video. I'm going to skip forward because I kind of do a little introduction, but we'll drop you at like 30 seconds. And feel free to pause the video.
So to get started, I'm going to use the pen tool just to write, to show you that this works as a whiteboard as well. So today's lesson is on the solar system.
All right.
So now that I've written that out, I want to create a new page. So to do that, I'm going to click, it looks like a page with a green plus symbol on it. I click that, and it creates a new blank page, automatically opens it up. So for this page, I don't want to use the pen to write. I actually want to use a keyboard. So what I would do is I select this.
So this is a perfect example of when you're using the pens, it creates an ink layer. And so whenever you touch anywhere on the screen, you're then inking. So one way to get out of that would be to set the pen down, so you're no longer using that input. And then in the top right corner, there'll always be a blank page or a clear the ink layer button. It looks like a red X. So I'll just demonstrate really quick. So you can see there, have my ink layer. I'm not going to be able to do anything but work with ink while that's up. So if you click the red X, it's going to go ahead and close that out, and it's going to allow you to interact with the web page just like you were using your pointer once again.
But what if your happy face go?
Yeah.
So if we don't want it to disappear, what I would recommend is you can also, if you want to save something, basically, because the reason this happened differently is because we were working outside of the notebook software before, but now we're working in the notebook software. When you're in the notebook software and it's clicked as active, you're not going to have your ink layer. I'm sorry, that was a mistake. So now it's saved, and then if you wanted to go ahead and click a new page, you can try that again, and it will work properly. Now, if we're working in a different browser, or a different window like the browser, that's when the ink layer problems will come.
And you can tell by the color on top of the tab whether you're in it or not. It's kind of like when you're in Windows and you see the top is blue. Can you see that you're now on the left-hand side?
Oh, does it change?
So this is active. You can see the red, yellow, and green buttons to
But
show
then
you.
when you press over there, does it inactivate
Yes,
that?
down there.
So there's no way to write in Notebook while you have
The browser.
open.
Look at you.
You can. Well, so my mistake was I didn't click on the notebook software before I started writing with a pen.
Where's
But
that?
it won't be saved.
So basically,
Right.
this, just as an example, we could, let's go back to, oh, here it is. Let's go back to the video. I'm going to take it back just a little bit. I'm going to hit play.
It looks like a page.
Then I'm going to
with a
select my
green
notebook
plus symbol.
software.
I click that.
Now
It
when
creates
I
a
write
new
with the
blank
pen,
page, automatically opens it up. So for this page, I don't want to use the pen to write. Actually want to use.
But right
I
now
can
you're
still pause the video.
only writing
Yeah,
in the notebook. You're not writing on top of your video.
Correct.
Okay.
And
Where's the red X? Where's the X?
so it wasn't there because I'm working in the notebook software. Basically, it will only appear when you're writing with the pen outside of the notebook software.
Like if you were to try to write on top of the web browser, it would create an ink layer for you to write on.
Like a clear screen.
It's almost like
invisible.
laying a transparency over
Yeah.
an image, and then you're writing on that. But when you're trying to close out and work on the window behind the transparency, you can't do that until you remove the transparency. Okay. So if you feel good, we can continue.
So you wrote this, because you're in this,
Okay. So
Switch back over after you wrote that.
now I'm in
There,
here.
now you are.
I'm going to take the video back just a little bit. We may have a little bit of a repeat. I just don't want you to miss anything. Okay, so we're going to start a new page when the video begins. So
It looks like a page with a green plus symbol on it. I click
Add
that,
new page.
and it creates a new blank page. It automatically opens it up. So for this page, I don't want to use the pen to write. Actually want to use a keyboard. So what I would do is I select this. It looks like
So right now it's currently hidden in this window, but it's located at the top there. If you hit the arrows, that shows you the rest of your tools, and we'll choose text. And now I'm just going to ask you to follow the video again.
So there's not a keyboard icon?
No, not on. Here we go.
It looks like a letter A up here, and then I'm going to drag out my box where I'd like to type.
Try.
This box is adjustable, and you can change your font, your size, all your different settings up here. I'm going to go ahead and type.
Just drag a
I'm going
box
to use
on
my
the white
keyboard
area.
on my laptop to type because it's faster.
So
Select anywhere on the screen.
Solar system
there you go.
That's all right.
has 8 planets. Period. And that's a little bit
I'm going to
small
pause
right now,
this
so
because
I'm
we're
just
going a little fast there. But I'll just run through this with you again.
Okay.
So if we're on our new page, then we'll go ahead and select. So you can, if it's easier, you can watch like a 10-minute or a 10-second section and then pause it and try to do it over here. And then now that you have this tool selected, you can drag out a box on the space. You can resize it. Oh, so your, I think your palm is touching as well. That was a second. So you can only use one finger at a time on the Smartboard. It can only take one input. So then, if you, yeah, that would just close your formatting. So now if you wanted to type something in, you could either click the keyboard on the right-hand toolbar and type on screen. There it is. You can only type one key at a time, so this is a little slow. So what I like to do is turn around and then type on the computer itself. So you could type a quick message.
But you don't need to open up the keyboard part of it. You can just type on the keyboard.
Yeah. You can type on the keyboard anytime. So we'll close that out. Great. And then once you've typed something out, you can go back to your arrow tool, click on it, move it around. You can click on the arrow on the side to edit it. Basically go properties, change your font size, and play with all those things. One quicker way to do this would actually be to open up your text, drag it out, and you have all your formatting palette here. So you could type something out, something in this case, and then highlight it by dragging across, change your formatting. Let's make it really big so everyone can see it. Change your color. So you can quickly type something out for your class, and oh yeah, that does that. We'll go back to page, and then you can create a series, like a lesson with a series of different things typed out. That was kind of the point of this video, is the basics of typing things out and dragging images in. So.
And it keeps it running, however pages.
Exactly, and then you can save this file. You can open it up later. You can continue to write on it, circle it with your pen tool, like underline key ideas, that type of thing.
So if I pick up my pen tool now, I can write on
Yeah,
this pen.
absolutely.
Why doesn't it seem to be a continuous?
Sometimes there's a little bit of a lag. You have to just sometimes go
Too
this way.
impatient?
You may want to press a little bit harder too to make it
Yeah,
fine line.
it's probably perfect. There you go.
If I already had PowerPoint slides, could I put them in there?
Absolutely, yeah. Likewise, you can just open up PowerPoint. You don't even have to open Notebook. You can open up PowerPoint and do ink layers over the top of PowerPoint and take pictures.
Then you just say don't save when you close it or whatever.
Yeah, either you can choose to not save it, or you can save your writing into a notebook file.
But it went and save with the PowerPoint. But so when someone else goes to use it, they don't have much of it.
You would have to open up your PowerPoint on the Smartboard computer.
Yes.
Yes.
The computer that's attached to the screen. Yes. Okay, well.
How do you activate that ink layer when it's you just open up PowerPoint?
It would be as simple as picking up your pen tool. Yeah.
Does the eraser work then?
Yep.
The same way?
Yes.
So you don't have to use that finger eraser thing? Oh, I
Nope.
Oh. Does it only erase the ink layer? Okay, so it doesn't
Yes,
erase
it
the
won't
ink.
erase objects like images, typed text, shapes.
Anything that you put on.
Yeah.
Weird. None of the schools have
Well, thank you.
that.
Excellent job.
And we have that software so that it doesn't just have to be on one computer in each classroom. We can put it on more computers so that more people can use them at the same time.
And I guess the major function of these videos is these are like the basics. We hope that as your skills grow and you want to learn more, that you go to the FAQs section. That's where more information will be found. And a lot of links to great forums and websites where you can find pre-made notebook lessons and work with them. There's a lot of great tools in here beyond the videos. The videos just to get you started.
But you have to work with them hooked up, right?
This website is accessible anywhere, so you can watch these videos at home if you like.
Without
You just won't be
without
able to
doing- okay.
interact.
So you can learn and then.
Exactly, and the
Remember.
repeat. You can go back if you forget something. Just go watch a 2-minute video. And yeah, Ann, do you want to?
Joe, if you could take that pictures? Should I?
Yeah. And just a note about, you know, when Sarah came up and demonstrated through, it's because you had the split screen, so we had to jump from window to window. But when you have the notebook program completely open, or a window browser completely open, you're not going to run into those technical difficulties. It's just when we had it split screen to follow through with the video. So on to our frequently asked questions, and in this area we've divided it up into 4 areas. To add on to your 6 videos, we have extra beginner level things, so this is probably where you want to start once you've gotten your basics down. This is the living part of the website. This is where you guys take control of this website. We used the three of our heads to come up with as many ideas as we could to throw into this website of what you guys might want to do. But as you can see here, there's 20 of us, which is 7 times more ideas than what we could come up with. So, that being said, we have installed in here a Google, what's called a Google form for you guys to help make this grow. And how it's done is you look through the FAQ section and you don't see what you're looking for. It's up to you to go find that answer. But rather than just you having that experience, why not add to the website so that if someone in the future has that question, you've now helped that person out. So what you can do here is within this website, you have a link here. Click this link to add your own FAQs and solutions. And because we have all these people here today, that's what we're going to do. So let's go ahead and have this table here. Split the table in half there. And what I would like you guys to do is take 2 minutes right now to discuss something that you would want to learn about for Smartboard amongst yourselves. Once you guys have come up with that, we've already opened up a couple browser windows for you. It has YouTube browser, and it also has this Google Doc link that you can fill out a little description, or the question that you were asked, the description of what entails in the video, and then the link to the video. Okay? Do you guys understand what I'm asking for you to do?
So we're coming up with a question that we...
Take a couple minutes, talk with each other. Hey, what do I want to know about?
Groups of 2 or 3, yeah. You can come up with like something you have a question.
This is about to be a group of 1. You're going to have to leave in about 3 minutes.
Alright, easy.
Well, I want to...
browser or anything.
I know, like, you make things and you drag them to, you know how, like, there's the chemical reaction or chemical reaction thing?
How do you drag the thing?
Yeah, because there's that game where you pick, you think it's a physical, and you drag it to physical or chemical, and it tells you if you're right or not.
Or that combined in the face one where you drag the letter in, and if it's not combined in the face, whatever it is.
The other thing is, when I was teaching a birthday the other week, my pen was flipping out, and it kept flipping back and forth on the screen between the pen thing and the select, so it kept turning into select for no discernible reason.
Between the pen and the select button?
The little arrow button.
Oh.
Okay.
And I wasn't touching anything that I could tell. It just kept going. But I would sure love to know what caused that.
The best way to do that would be
Like adding a hyperlink.
it saves whatever ink you have visible to Notebook.
There is a way.
No, I think that's good.
Smartboard Express.
It'll save it on the computer.
Okay, so add hyperlink manually through. So add the knife to your lifestyle. The job aids we made, those aren't for the science because we knew that would be different.
Oh yeah. How can I do using the Express Smartboard website? Yeah. So if you wanted to see it at home, you could just open it, but you wouldn't be able to edit it. It'd just be just looking at the presentation and all the slides of it.
And some of them you can edit in very basic way. You can draw or write basically.
Yeah, let's do.
Something else that
Okay, so you put your question.
opening an existing notebook file, like that kind of context one or something, and then feeling like once you've messed around in it, not saving your changes or something. I don't know.
You guys put a question? Did someone put a question already?
Yes.
How do I?
They've already typed it.
Oh, okay. I was like,
User 6638.
I just put that.
Smartboard 1 or 2.
sometimes it takes a while.
What about, how do we create, like, how would we create our own program with the information? Because there's like those Jeopardy programs where they have a layout already available for you. You can change the text, the amount of boxes, the multiple layers that are involved with it, like tiles.
So that would be like a notebook software. How would you create a lesson in the notebook software?
Okay.
Like making your
That's what
own
that
or
would be.
piggybacking off somebody else?
Well, I mean, I've looked around on the open source for notebook files, and they have a lot of them already developed, and I dragged it and brought it over to my own thing.
Yes.
And then re-edited it to use it to whatever class I had before. But in terms of how would we build it from scratch, so to speak? Or is that using an external third-party program?
I think that's a good question. Yeah. Go ahead and write that one down and see if you can find an answer for it.
A program with things.
Starting from
Or like if I edit chemistry concepts and I write on it, and then I want to send that to a teacher, but I don't want that saved because I'm using a program that every educator uses, but the teacher wants my annotations. How do I copy? Like how do I save my annotations without destroying the original program?
That's also a good question. Let's add that one in there too.
What was that one?
Yes.
How do I save my annotations to send to a teacher without
Save my
editing?
annotations.
without destroying the original or without overwriting the original.
How do I save my annotations? Save me?
You know, the Google Class
Oh, it's HTTPS
Save it as a separate
I
name.
think this way is the easiest that you can do it. Like a content, or you can add like a little button. So in Smartboard, there's a button that you can add to it, and then you can add the image to it, and then you can click it, and it'll automatically go to that without like putting too much information into it.
What formats are available to convert into?
I have a kind of a weird question.
What might be a good one?
This is a
What's that?
Yes. So that,
So you can go anywhere. You can go on the internet.
just on our own time whenever we want. Is that like, you guys are there with us? Is that something? Okay.
Modified to what would work best for you guys. It's short. It's 5 or 6 questions. We leave big boxes open so you can write as much as you want or as little as you want to answer the questions. We do ask questions like, where did you use the Smartboard, in case if like the mobile does get moved out and does get used once it's fixed and such. Any questions on the self-assessment form? Pretty straightforward.
Literally takes 2 minutes.
Yeah.
It's literally.
And yeah, we just ask that you fill these out once a week. Just so.
It's like at the end of the week.
Yeah.
Of course, if you didn't work that week, that makes sense. So, okay. From here, we've actually gone through the whole site. I wanted to open up to any other questions overall with regards to the Smartboard, our presentation. Y'all pretty good. The sugar highs.
Sugar low.
All right. Well, then my last thing is here. I'm asking you to fill out one more survey, 3 questions. You just fill in the little bubble. This is just giving us a better idea as to how we did today and how we did for the project that we performed for you guys. Okay, so take a few minutes for that on your way out.
I have a question.
Yep.
Are you going to be around once we've actually got our hands on it? You know, we've seen your wonderful work, but we haven't actually put hands on it, and, you know, for questions, comments later.
We can be up until about a month. Because there's going to be a point in time where you guys need to now work with each other to learn.
Are you weaning us? Is that what you're doing?
Yes.
Okay.
Slowly.
And also, it would be just so helpful to us that over the next few weeks when you get the training, that if you're filling this out. Because when you fill this out, we can go in and we can look at what you're liking, what you're having problems with, and things that you want to know more so that we can tweak it before we exit out. So it's really, really important that always do it, but especially at the beginning that you guys are filling it out and just letting us know, hey, you know, this training video is horrible. We can come back in and make a quick training video and just throw it back up to make it the way you want it.
So one of your first self-assessment forms when you're going to do on this is when you're watching the videos. So that'll be your first one. Right. So you're going to have a chance to watch the video
and then you can kind of see what that is all about, and then that's the first assessment form that you're going to do is to watch it.
Angie?
And then after that.
The first question asks if you feel confident using the Smartboard, and I would have to say strongly disagree because I haven't used it yet, but I don't want that to reflect badly on you guys.
You answered the way you need to answer.
Okay,
Yep.
just even though I haven't used it?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
And I guess the greatest thing to think about this website that we've developed is, although it is kind of your first stage of training, it's more a framework for you to begin learning together. We built this as the place for you all to gather and share ideas about the Smartboard, ask questions, really just share information so that there's more communication amongst each other, and you can all help each other grow and learn.
You know, you want to go outside it as well as use this as your platform for ideas about technology. It can be with the laptops. It could be with, you know, you guys got a few iPads, and it could be with the iPads. Like, don't.
X now.
Maybe a personal iPad.
Yeah. Just erase what I just said.
You can delete certain.
But I mean, if you have a smartphone, you can even, in the advanced, we can show you how to set it up so that you can carry this around, hand it to a kid in your classroom if you're okay handing out your personal smartphone, and they can interact with the Smartboard. Yeah.
This is getting more exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's
I can do it myself. Go on, damn.
it all comes back to this, and you know this is important because this is what the fleet. That's their mission statement: science and technology. Let's get the technology rolling, right?
All right.
That's it. Thank you. Yay! Good job. Good job.